Aquarius, what's going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it, Aquarius. We are, well, actually, when I'm recording, we're having a new moon solar eclipse in Aries. I'm like literally recording when it's at its peak, which is always fun. It's always fun to just kind of feel that amplified energy. It ingests more energy into whatever you're trying to cultivate, whatever you're trying to bring to life as well when you watch this video. So that's pretty dope. But yeah, new moon in Aries. It's the beginning of a zodiac cycle. Aries season is all about investing in self. That idea that if we don't invest in selves, how can we give back to our life, relationships, etc. And solar eclipse, like as we do those evaluations in our life, or it's being forced, there's been a lot of water energy, lots of triggering, lots of emotion, tension flying around in relationships. Mercury and Venus are also in retrograde. So all this stuff is getting amplified, forcing us to see so that we can shift, change, make different choices for ourselves that are actually in alignment with what we want, that are bringing us happiness and fulfillment. And it is a little dicey right now because there is a huge cluster of planets in Pisces and in Aries. And it's really this value of trusting our intuition, doing the work to like see where sometimes, you know, there's places that we're skeptical or fear-based or letting anxiety take over, etc. But also this value of trusting, validating ourselves, validating our intuition, validating when something doesn't feel right, seem right, etc. So that's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading. It helps cleanse out some of that block and limitation that we might be experiencing right now. And it's also a really good time to set your own intention for the reading, especially if you come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings, and it does work, I promise. Also, I do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation and how things are faring for you, where they're headed, etc. Or if you're just looking for a realignment within yourself, just like I was talking about, so that you feel happy, you like where you're going, you like what you're doing, you like who you're interacting with. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're operating from that space, that is when we're connecting with self. When we're connected with ourself, then we know what we want, and thus we can be happy. As we all deserve. So Aquarius, if you resonate, vibe with my energy, I would love to help and support in any way possible. I love, you know, just helping. I do. Definitely hit me up. All that info is in the description box below. All right, let's get into this. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and sense the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. All right, Aquarius. So it does feel like your energy is like a little tense, a little nervous about new beginnings. I'm hearing this is like reaching out, connecting with someone, something that you want to see kind of unfold, manifest in your life, taking a step, taking a risk to some capacity. You feel nervous, you feel tense, you feel like maybe your throat chakra is closed up a little bit, or it's hard to find the right words is essentially what that means, which makes a lot of sense. Like I said, Mercury's in retrograde right now, and it is actually moving into Pisces tomorrow. So both Venus and Mercury were in Aries. Now they've retrograded back into Pisces. So we're like switching the tune, seeing what works, seeing what feels right for us, and then we're kind of weighing it out against our emotional world. And in Pisces, I should highlight as well, it's a lot of this component of like, are you willing to invest in yourself? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to do what is required? And here's the thing, the efforts are paying off. That's what I'm seeing for you. As much as maybe something makes you feel nervous right now, it's saying that your efforts are paying off, and you actually have a really good energy surrounding you this week. Even though, again, like I'm kind of seeing it as it doesn't feel like a lot is happening in real time. It feels like maybe you're almost living in your intuition a little bit more, or in that like kind of like fantasy abstract world, right? Versus, and this is more about like you connecting with what you want. But there's a process to it. Trust in the process is what I'm hearing. It's not all for nothing, essentially. It feels, or your energy, is showing that like it's a little annoying. It feels like you're twiddling your thumbs, or you're not receiving something. Maybe spending a little bit more time with yourself, feeling pressured, and maybe putting a lot of pressure on yourself is what I'm hearing, Aquarius, because there is this energy of discontent. Not good, bad, right, or wrong, but it's like you're waiting, you're ready. You're also nervous, though. You're also nervous to take a step for some reason. So it's a struggle with self, which is also being highlighted right now, you know? Can we actually commit to what we want? Can we actually invest in who we are and what we're trying to grow and build? Or is it something that we're just going to allow, you know, the wind to take us wherever? Where I see that it's important to change our approach right now with Jupiter in Gemini. It's looking different. It's looking different than maybe how it's shown up for us in the past, or how you thought it was going to play out 100%. Fool energy. You're making a decision for yourself that I think is really empowering. It does feel kind of nerve-wracking in some ways, but you feel settled about it. There's something about this, Aquarius, where you've made peace 100%. There's been too much stress around a situation where someone, I feel like, was happy to excuse me, connect with you, like they wanted something with you. But for you, it feels like it was more stress than what was worth the time, the energy. So you're trying a little bit different approach. You're trying a different approach with hopes that it will bring some insight and it will bring some clarity. It looks like it is. It might not be all the things that you want to see, that you want to hear, but I think at the same time, what information is coming into you, Aquarius, is very valuable. Because it is the quote-unquote medicine. That's part of what the astrology is playing out right now with that cluster in Pisces, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and retrograde. So we have to like be willing to kind of see that bigger picture, be willing to step back a little bit so we gain more clarity, we gain more understanding. Something has come in that has put a twist or a spin on a situation, and it's forcing you to kind of take a step back because you were missing something before, is what I'm seeing. Like you were missing a key component, a key piece. And as you're taking this step back, or maybe being forced to, maybe it feels like you're being forced to, it's giving you the opportunity to kind of again, understand and use that information to your benefit. It's hard because someone doesn't like it. I don't know. It looks like they're appeasing your ego. It looks like you need a break. That's totally fine. You do what you got to do. You know, they're confirming what you need, but I feel like behind closed doors, they're not as pumped about it. It feels like a loss of power for them in a certain way, or that's where this is headed to, or that's how they're going to interpret this. When you're kind of gaining this insight, when you're seeing it, I feel like you've been under a lot of pressure, or that's what it's showing. It's showing you've been under a lot of pressure. And sometimes when we're in those spaces in life, it makes it really difficult to kind of gauge where things are at, how people are showing up. You know, it's easier to kind of sweep things aside, sweep them under the rug. And it looks like you're choosing to approach something with a level of awareness. Like instead of like not paying attention, instead of not looking at this thing, you're choosing to make decisions for yourself that lessen some of the stress, lessen some of the burden, allow you a little bit more wiggle room, allow you a little bit more freedom. And it is going to put some decisions on the table, but again, you are preparing yourself for this. This is what I see, Aquarius. It is a preparation phase. And honestly, as your energy moves forward, it's going to feel more peaceful. Like my energy has already shifted 100%. Like I feel like beginning of where you were at, it was all tense, it was all fearful, it was all like, you know, how is this gonna play out? Sometimes when we're in this space where like we have a lot of alone time, or we're spending a lot of time with our thoughts, maybe is a better way to say it, it's easy to like worst case scenario, or, you know, because this doesn't feel like an easy person situation to deal with. This feels like something that really needs to have control, doesn't have the level of maturity as what they want you to believe, because they're starting off as the King of Wands and then digressing to the Knight of Wands. And it's over a period of time. So whatever you're not feeding into anymore is healing your soul, meaning putting yourself in alignment with yourself. That makes sense. Aligning yourself, aligning oneself, so that like you're feeling a little bit more right in yourself, in your body, in your mind, in your soul. And I feel like it's going to kind of piss someone off, right? Someone, something, rose, heirlooms. With personal responsibility, we can end the cycle. Old stories can be thinned and new stories given room to grow. Review your family heirlooms and their significance to you. How vital are they to your self-identity? So that's, you know, like we all have a story. We all tell a story. And I feel like this is part of your story. I feel like this is part of your story that you're ready to move on from, release. Some of you might even be doing some quote unquote generational ancestral healing. We have this healing energy around you as you do progress. This is something that you've had to learn in a not so fun way, right? In kind of a really difficult way, a very eye-opening way. But it's good for you, right? It's good for you. These types of experiences can be painful, can be a little bit embarrassing, shameful, whatever. But I think at the same time, it's enough for you where you've made your peace. You've made your peace. And honestly, the way this person acts and behaves at the end of it, it's just going to like validate even more like why you chose what you chose. Okay, Dionysus. It says limits support understanding, establish rules and expectations, and force conversations about what is and what is not acceptable. What limits have you set for yourself? Do they help or hinder you? So going back to the drawing board, new moons are a really good opportunity to kind of reassess, right? We're either putting in new intentions for new manifestations, or we're going back to the drawing board on what needs adjusting, what needs a little bit more TLC, right? How I said, what we envision we want to live, and then making the necessary choices accordingly. Because there is purpose. We can travel with aspiration. What aspects of your life foster feelings of warmth and tenderness from which purpose may bloom? I feel like that's so powerful, right? Like, I feel like you are in a time of transition transitioning. You're in a time of new beginnings where you can paint your canvas, so to speak, not to be a cheese ball, but it's like, it feels fresh. It feels like you're ready to go, and the world is your oyster. And maybe that's part of what the fear is right now for you, Aquarius, the fear of having all this at your fingertips. But it's also giving you a choice to readjust what your story is going to continue to be, how you're going to push that forward, and where you want to land. And you can definitely be in alignment with that. And what is not in alignment with that is going to be removed 100%. So thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Know that I'm sending it back your way.